I was incredibly bored and out of Java project ideas, so I decided to tackle some Java interview questions and see just how far I can get. And first of all was the palindrome. So basically create something that checks if a particular sequence of strings is a palindrome. Yeah, this is how it went. What is a palindrome, you might be asking? Well, a palindrome is a word or a sentence that, even if you reverse it, it will still read out the same. A good example of this is, for example, noon. So reverse the right way around, you will literally see that it cannot be reversed. So there's noon, civic, kayak, level, and words that aren't palindromes are, well, every other word like subscriber, YouTuber. Uh, Ironically, palindrome isn't a palindrome. So yeah, all that good stuff. First of all, we're going to start with a public static, a boolean, because we want to see whether or not it's a palindrome. So is palindrome. This will return true or false. String text as the parameter. All right, so there are two different types of palindromes. So there's going to be the ones that have an even number of letters, and then there's going to be the other one that has an odd number of letters. So we're going to need to have methods for both of those. So the logic for that will be something like this. So if text dot length, if the remainder of if the remainder of the length divided by 2 is equal to 0, then we know that it has an even number of letters. And then we're going to do some logic, else we're going to do the other logic. So let's create a method here so it'll return with text. Just like so, that's the first method we're going to be creating. Else we're just going to return false for now, obviously, since we haven't implemented any other. So here we're going to need a couple of things. So the way that I plan to do this is, for example, we have noon, right? So middle of noon will be right here. So it is actually 4 letters, 4 characters, and the middle of them will be 2. So to find the middle, we're just gonna have to divide the length divide by 2. So we're gonna have an int length. All right, so let's have an int for the first half of the word. So first half, this is going to be equal to length divided by 2, and then we find the middle part. So now you can have a string, first letters. This is going to be equal to text dot substring. We're going to start from 0 all the way to first half, like so, and then finally string last letters. This is going to be equal to text dot once again substring, this time passing in first half as the argument. Now, once again, in the case of our example here, so we had noon, for example, you will notice that NO is the reverse of O and N, which means that the first letters will have to be equal to the reverse of the last letters, which means we're going to have a method to reverse text. So private string builder, reversed text. This is going to be equal to a new string builder. And then we're just going to have a for loop here. So for int I is equal to letters dot length minus 1. Because we are dealing with indexes, and I would like to avoid the index out of bounds exception because I absolutely hate that one. I is greater than or equal to 0. And then I decrement that, those are underscores. Okay, there we go. And then we're just going to reverse text dot append letters dot char at index I, and then we're just going to return the reversed text to string. What we need here is a boolean, so we're going to return first letters dot equals reversed text, the reversed last letters, like so. So this will return true or false on whether or not this equals that, and if it is equal to, then it indeed is a palindrome. If it doesn't, then yeah, that definitely works. So let's now give it a shot. Let's actually see where my run configuration is. So it is temp. Okay, temp. There you go. Password checker. Can get out. So something like that. So noon is indeed a palindrome. This one should give us. So noon is indeed a palindrome. Noonay or something like this. This is not going to be a palindrome. Not a palindrome. Now, when we have something that actually is a palindrome, like level here, this one is also going to return not palindrome. And that is because we only gave it the code to check for even number of letters. This has an odd number of letters, which means it's not going to work. So let's get to fixing that. And it's a very simple thing. We're just going to have to duplicate this method here. All right, so basically the code is we're not gonna change too much here. We're just gonna have to change up a few things. So yeah, in our level, for example, here, you will notice that there's 2 before and 2 after. So basically we want to see if the first letters, ignore the middle one, is equal to the reverse of the last letters, which means the perfect way to do that would be first to make the length divisible by 2, which means we're going to have to subtract that by 1. And let's make sure we surround these with brackets. Yeah, so like it. And then the last letters, we're actually going to need an int last half. So int last half, and this is going to be equal to the length minus the first half. And then here, last letters will be the substring of, instead of the first half, we're going to have the last half. And then that's all we need to do. Everything else should work as intended. And then all we need to do now is, instead of returning false, we're going to have to return odd numbered lettered word with text as the parameter. And you will indeed see that level is indeed a palindrome. Absolutely perfect. Now, let's say, for example, we had rotator here. If we run this, rotator is indeed a palindrome. Now, I know what you're thinking, I kind of tricked you, but indeed, rotator is a palindrome. But you'll notice that the last R is in lowercase, the first R is in uppercase. That's the issue. So to fix that, we're going to need to change this to change the string to be lowercase on both instances to lowercase. And now when you run this, as you can see, is a palindrome. Now, palindromes aren't just limited to single words, they can be sentences. My favorite one is Mr. Owl ate my metal worm. This is a palindrome. I didn't trick you. This actually is a palindrome. But if you notice here, we have got W, O, R, and M, and we also have W, O, R, and M here. But there's a space between the O and the R. Here, there's no space between the O and the R, which means, yeah, that's the issue. And the fix for that is one very simple line. Very, very simple line. We're just going to have another string here. So string text dot replace all. And then we need to have 2 arguments. So we need to have a regular expression and the replacement. So you can't just say space and then replace it with nothing. This is kind of logic, but you need to have a regular expression here. So the regular expression, regex for short, is kind of annoying. There's actually a good deal of them. They're pretty annoying to get. But the one that actually targets white spaces or spaces is going to be 2 backslashes, S, and plus sign. Yeah, so this will replace all the spaces with nothing, essentially removing the spaces, which I think is definitely going to be fun. And now we just need to do a little something here. Just got to alter these to instead the text be the smart text. Okay, so hear me out. I know we said there's only 1 line, but we've added 1 line and just modified these 3, so it's not too big of a deal. And now, when we run this, our not palindrome will turn into a palindrome. As you can see, is palindrome because with the code that we've added, it ignores all of these spaces. And this also means that it doesn't matter how many spaces you have in between the letters, which is honestly kind of funky, but yeah, I think it honestly works. Let's check it out. And my ID has glitched. I've been facing this glitch since I started using the IntelliJ Ultimate Edition. I actually have no idea why it happens, but yeah, literally it's frozen. I can try to close it. You will notice when you close it, It doesn't do anything. And now I can't do anything at all. Literally, I can press this, nothing. Absolutely nothing. Yeah, and literally the only way I can actually like close it is via the task manager, which is very annoying. Ah, my days. Wait, you reopened it, so what the heck? That's not supposed to. Oh, there we go. There we go. There we go. Okay, so as I was saying, it doesn't matter how many spaces you put in the word here, they don't matter. It'll only read the letters and see if the sequence of letters is palindromic in nature. Doesn't sound right? I actually don't know. Is palindrome, just like that. Okay, so like I said, this was one of the Java interview questions that I found, and I decided to tackle it. This is how I would do it. I'm guessing there's gonna be like a much shorter way of doing this, and considering that most of the palindromes actually have an odd number, I don't know if this even number method is even necessary. I don't even know if they're supposed to be this long. I mean, I wouldn't know. I've never been to a Java interview before, but this is how I would do it. And yeah, there might be shorter ways. I don't know, but this is how I did it. So yeah, that will do it for the video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please, I am out of project ideas, like I said, so please comment down below what you would like to see, what you would like to see me attempt. Okay, no promises. What you would like to see me attempt. Comment down below if there's anything at all I could try. And yeah, with that being said, though, I hope you guys have a great day. See you guys in the next video. Peace.